Good morning, gurus. Welcome to another episode. Bitcoin is bleeding out again right now after we got that bounce yesterday. We're going to jump into the technicals. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to look at total market cap. And we're going to look at altcoin supports. Hit the subscribe button, smash up, thumbs up, and turn on the bell. Let's jump into technicals for Bitcoin now. Bitcoin breaking down right now. It's falling. Altcoins falling much more. We're at 55K. It pretty much erased the bounce from yesterday, unfortunately. We got to bounce back to 58. And that has erased it. On the weekly charts, we've broken this 1 year trend line. So expect that this pain is not yet finished and can easily go much worse. Why? Because that was a very powerful trend line that we've been on since July last year. And that broke and just free fell to the first support area. And the main support, I would say, is still at 52. And if you just look at this M pattern, if we draw out this M pattern, which would be here, on Bitcoin, if we take that M pattern and we measure out the distance of the arch, which would be this distance here, best case scenario for Bitcoin to finish just this M pattern alone would be 46K, everyone. You see, 46K based off that M pattern. Now we did that Elliott wave count. We did that Elliott wave count. That's now finished. Now, the ABC correction is still in play, it looks like. It looked like the C correction finished yesterday, but the drop is still going on. Crypto Guru bot, still a blue buy from 2023, hasn't fired to a sell. Bitcoin Indicator bot fired a sell up there, hasn't flipped to a buy. Stochastic quite oversold now, more oversold than it's been for a very long time. The time we saw it so oversold was back in February in 2022 when Bitcoin was sitting at $16,000. That was the last time it was so oversold. Let's go into the daily. Daily is heading back down. Broke support, and you can just see the last 2 days. We had this bounce back from, we came all the way down to 53, bounced back to 58. Should have closed it, and now it's just free falling from 53, from 58 back. The C wave is not finished then, guys. The C wave is not finished. Best case scenario, it looks like we could bounce at 52. Most likely we come down to 46, which is still a quite brutal drop. Even from where we are right now, to go down to that worst case scenario, 46, we're still talking about a 15% drop on Bitcoin from where we are. And I would say that's still best case. That's the major support at 46. 52 is also a very strong one, so expect a bounce off there. But right now it's just bleeding. Let's go close onto the daily. Bitcoin is just free falling. C wave correction does not look like it's finished. Could finish at 52, but again, most likely to finish at 46, it looks like. Hopefully you get a very strong bounce back. Because why? Because we're back. We're still under this yellow trend line. And we got that bounce from 52,800, bounce back to 58, came close to that yellow trend line, and then just the last few hours has just fallen through. That was the bounce from yesterday, from 53 to 58, and then just free fall still. So C wave correction not yet finished. Where would I open longs on Bitcoin? I would still wait for these two positions. Like I said yesterday, in yesterday's video, I warned about this. I said drop might not be finished. 52 expect one bounce, and 46 expect another. So that's the first trade I would take. Opening at 52,102, stop loss 51,652, and take profit 88K if we get that bounce. And second trade, but I'll just try to catch the bounce here. So actually the trade would most likely, if we're going to catch a bounce from 52, I don't think it comes back. I don't think it takes out these supports at least for a while. So that would be the better trade. Catching the bounce at 52 and closing it at, I would say 58 is where we recover to. That's the trade I would take on Bitcoin for the first bounce. Opening 52,000, stop loss 51,900. Too tight stop loss. Let's make it a little bit. And take profit is 58, that previous support that's now resistance. That risk reward is 29 times. Opening the trade 52,000, risking $229 to make 6,600 per Bitcoin. 10x leverage 66,000. That's the trade I would take on Bitcoin. And then the next one I would take wouldn't be till 46, catching that bounce off the major trend line. That's where I would go more heavy towards the 88K, because that could really mark the bottom if we get that low. but pretty brutal will be to the markets in general if it does do that. So just keep that in mind. So 52 and 46 are where I would set the trades on Bitcoin. Let's go into the total market cap of all cryptos. Not looking good on Bitcoin front. Let's look at total market cap, under 2 trillion again. We had a big bounce back 2 days ago, and then we have just the bearish engulfing candle just wipe out all those altcoins. So the alts came down, alts are making a new low, everyone. 2 days ago, it came down to 2 trillion, then we bounced back to 2.3 trillion, and then it just free fell yesterday to 1.9 trillion. So we're under where we were, and you can see it's also hugging this 1 year trend line, this yellow trend line that goes back to July 2023. Sorry, it goes back all the way to August 2022, that yellow trend line. You can see it's broken. It's sitting right under it. It bounced up, and then it just like failed back in. If this breaks, and you can also see similar M pattern, and it broke this symmetrical triangle, and you can see this similar M pattern. If this M pattern plays out, the same one on the total market cap, you can see it here. If this one plays out, target for all cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin, altcoins, and mem coins, would be 1 year trend line, around 1.6 trillion. We have a major support on 168 trillion. But again, if that takes out, the yearly trend line would be the support, 1.6 trillion, which would be quite brutal. We're still talking, if that was to play out, we're still talking about a drop of nearly 20%. If that was to play out, a drop of 20% to the market cap, which would be very not nice. Let's go into, okay, let's check my position. So my trade was negative 24K, then it went back to negative 6K yesterday. Now it's back to negative almost 19K. So if Bitcoin falls here to 46K, it will liquidate my trade. So I need to add position to be underneath 46K. I need to add margin. This trade is already quite heavy margined. It's a $40,000 trade margin with $260,000 position. If I was to put it under, I would need to put another 30,000, I think, to 20,000 to get it under 46K, which I will do, but that would become a $60,000 trade. In this account, 506. Yesterday we had a bounce from 519 to 538 and then just pulling back. So it's in a lower low right now. USDT, I've got 183, spot 18K down on spot positions. MCRT 72, slightly down. Bitcoin down 5% today, just getting wrecked on the Monday open before the ETFs open again. Interesting, they're using it again. Uniswap down 7%, huge drop. Doge down 9%. World down 7%, fully erasing the gains, the bounce back that we had. And I had like 50K of each of these, so I lost probably like 17K on World, but a little bit less. But quite big drops on Bitcoin and altcoins. Let's look at Doge now, but not looking too good. We have to see how the ETFs react today. If the ETFs open and start buying back pressure after this long weekend, 4th of July holiday, this attack by Germany and Mt. Gox narrative, if that can open, that would be great news. Big support on Doge was at 0.083, and I called these low prices quite a while ago, luckily. But the problem is I bought into Doge when we had this drop the last time down here. I bought in here at 11 cents. Then we bounced back, it looked good, and then 9 cents. So I got a bit wrecked on my buys, even though I thought I was buying the bottom. It looks like we're bleeding out. Big support 0.08 on Doge. Let's check out World 1.8. I added position to Doge. World, it alerted me at 1.7. It alerted me and I bought just a little bit of this position. If 1.7 breaks, which is crazy, next support down for World, major support I would say is $1.25. And it just looks like everything is getting just destroyed. Let's look at BNB, reached 720 at the peak. And then already down from the peak, it's already down 50% from the peak. 50% on BNB. Big support on BNB. Where would it find support for a bounce? Not until major support 380. If you sold when I sold in March, I hope you listened to my videos because that was nearly the peak of everything. Since then, things are down 50 to 70%. If you want to trade like you're seeing me do and learn, go down below. The courses, the exchanges that I use, Bybit gives you $30,000 bonus. You can join us in the Telegram with other traders, people discussing. They're showing that support at 50K. I agree. 52K is the main support, 46. James, please make a video about how whales manipulate and for people to stay calm in your videos, how they're doing this is they use the 4th of July. Like, if you actually look at it, where did the drop start? They released all these narratives on the 4th of July. Then we had this big drop from 60k all the way to 53. So they used the long weekend, the 4th of July weekend, where the ETFs are closed, no one can add margin, everyone's on holiday. They used it to release all this news to FUD the markets. However, I've been saying, I sold back in March, and I've been saying that that was the top, and we've just been dropping since. To be honest, the big support though, like, you can blame many things, but if you actually just look at technical analysis and support, the support line would start, like, major support is at 48k. So make sure your liquidation prices are below that. It can easily come down to 48k. It would have been best if I had sold in March and not entered anything else still all the way down. I mean, if that support at 52 and 48 doesn't hold, then it's like, I think people will lose trust in Bitcoin and crypto for quite a while, because the next support under that on the yearly would be down to 41. Let's see how it does. However, I do expect when the ETFs open, the true price of Bitcoin is 58. What the ETF showed us multiple times when people started buying the ETF was 58k. On today, when the ETFs open, it's a very important day to see really how the ETFs and the American markets think about Bitcoin. Were they burnt during the 4th of July? Do they hate it now? Or do they think that attack on the 4th of July, this narrative of Mt. Gox, of all these, of Mt. Gox, of the German government selling, do they think it's a discount, start buying? We find out at the ETF open on the stock market open today. So we'll know in about 12 hours what's going to really happen to Bitcoin. How it reacts today is going to be a very important sign. If the ETFs open and Bitcoin falls and all coins just plummet, it's going to be a bloodbath. If the ETFs open and they start buying back this damage after the 4th of July, we'll know it should be a strong bounce back, and that will tell us a lot of information. Love you all. Stay safe out there. Hit the subscribe button, smash that thumbs up button, and turn on the bell. If you've lost money now, try to protect your capital. If anything that you've bought is still up hundreds of percent or 100% since the bear market, consider taking profits. Protect your capital. Love you all. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.